CT152.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got a special midday chart talk coming at you Monday. It is 12:13 on the East Coast. We got a lot of choppy behavior out of the market. So without further ado, let's get right into the market outlook. All right. So I got S&P 500 up on my screen. Obviously, we've been in this downtrend since the beginning of last year. We had a very strong January to sort of break out of the macro downtrend. But now we're seeing action that could potentially get us right back into that downtrend. This is more of a trappy behavior. And let me get into the anatomy of this move a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm seeing out there. So here I'm going to a 15-minute chart of the S&P. Going to take these moving averages out of the way. So, we were flagging so beautifully, and we're seeing such great action in the beginning of February. And then late Thursday, 2 weeks ago, 2 Thursdays ago, we had this just powerful sell-off. And this is kind of what I'm seeing out there is we had this powerful sell-off. This was huge volume. You can't really see the intraday volume, but came out of nowhere and we just started ripping lower. And it was when the Fed's Bullard, he made a comment about rates potentially staying higher for longer, potentially going back to the 50 basis point rate increases. Just very, very hawkish commentary. And up until that point, we had seen stocks virtually shake that news off. Stocks weren't caring about pretty much the macro environment, and they're continuing to rally. And then once that Thursday happened, that Thursday afternoon, we've just seen a dramatic shift in the market. So let me break down kind of what I'm seeing there. And I wrote here, ever since stocks broke that momentum flag to the downside, any strength has been sold. I'm not trusting much until we see ample consolidation or a changing composure. So what I'm seeing here is that was the Thursday action. Friday, we come down lower. We close higher, nice little pivot. Monday, gap and go to the downside, just showing sellers are in control. And let me break this move down further. Any kind of move we've had to the upside, it's like we sell off all day Friday. Coming Monday with a gap up, boom, sell off. Mm-hmm. We V back up on a nice little intraday bounce when we get oversold. Sellers come in. This is last Friday, gap down. Monday, gap up. Right into that resistance level. Again, we got bought up here when we were oversold. Now we're right back up into this trend line area, and we're seeing sellers come back. And this gap up got sold, and now, let me get rid of that. And now, what we should expect in this area, at least what I'm, because it remains to be seen. Do we break out? Do we hold this back test of this area, or do we just break down to lows? Mm-hmm. We're all looking at virtually the same thing, the same 395, 390, 400 area. The only thing we can expect right now, in my opinion, extreme volatility, especially intraday. Buying strength, you might get caught. Shorting weakness, you might get caught. We should just expect a lot of traps while this area either flags or fails to the downside. So that's what I'm waiting on. I don't see us just V'ing off it. I don't see us just puking lower. I see just an absolute battle. I didn't get to touch on the 10-year, which has been screaming higher, but I'll let you touch on that. That's the biggest risk to the market right now is the 10-year and rates. But that's really it. That's what I'm just expecting. Very, very choppy environment going forward. There's still a bunch of stocks I like, but if the market's not going to play nice, none of these things will continue to move higher. So
yeah.
Why don't you get into it? 10-year. What are we doing?
We were saying we were on the pre-market call this morning. We were talking about virtually the same thing.
It's a weekly. That's a weekly, by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It's a weekly? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this area is like, flag or failure at 10-year.
Yeah. So we're saying the same thing. Again, the fact that it's been flagging up here at third time at resistance, these are all things, again, if this was a stock, we'd be trying to buy this through, 4%. We actually want to see the 10-year lower, but it looks pretty strong. And then again, same thing, I had a very similar outlook with the SPY. Just in the, do we break lower? Does it hold a bit higher? So again, I'm not going to, repeat the same thing you said. But internally, a lot of the other sectors, it just seems like a lot we're just kind of calming down from the moves that they had. Like I'll pull up just telecom very quickly. Telecom, the worst sector of all of last year. The start of the new year, we had this amazing rally. Telecom was up nearly 20% off the lows of its base, and it pulled back and has retraced half that move. So a lot of the pullbacks we've seen with a lot of the sectors, they don't look extremely weak. It's just that they've ran 10, 15,
Right.
20% in a month, and they're kind of at that 50% retracement of what that current move was. But again, it's just, we can't really predict the future. We just need to do what we can when we see it. And for now, it's, letting the market be volatile, let it chop around. And then when we get that more decisive sign, then we can put more risk on or to be a little bit more patient.
Right.
So just while I'm here, I have a couple names I'm keeping a close eye on. We have this GL, it's blue sky breakout. This would be an entry through its all-time high of 124. For right now, it's held 120 so perfectly. You almost have to expect this to get shaken out, which again, it's a few cents away from it now. But the bigger focus is just buying through 124. I really don't care if 120 breaks and was to come down here. We want to just buy it through the high. Otis, another one like GL, only difference is it's not a blue sky breakout, so it's not taking out its all-time high. The blue sky breakout for GL is like the equivalent of buying 92. So we're looking to buy this 85 flag in this Otis. Earnings aren't until, end of April, so plenty of time for this name to develop or this trade to develop. A few others is AME, like that GL, that blue sky breakout through 148. Now, as it pulls back into support, it's finding that little feeler entry once it puts in a new pivot low. So for now, it's kind of still trending downward. It's still pulling into this flag. It can easily still come down to this 135 area, which is more significant support in the name. But we're just trying to wait for that pivot to form and find that support buyback. So we're not buying the breakout and getting trapped so alongside when things look perfect. We can kind of sneak in and catch those little moves. Chip had this idea in ORI through this 2675/27 area. Very high and tight flag. This one too. The only thing is it's such a, 26 is held so perfectly. You almost want to see this shake out a little bit before it really attacks that level. But again, probably one of the best charts we saw this morning. And then lastly, this monster just continues to flag up here. And as it does come into support now, again, at least I've been trying this thing through resistance through 104 lately, and it just hasn't worked that well, or hasn't worked since we bought it through 100. That now as it comes into support, I'd really like to see a shakeout of this 102 area and then find that support buyback so we can have a better cost basis or better risk reward for that potential breakout versus having to be perfect buying 105. So there's just a couple names setting up. Oh, and I'm also in this UPS. Yeah. Sorry, last one. Got this one late on, nice. Yeah, late on Friday. Ticked me in. Stop first 176. It looks all right now. But again, just trying to find those support buybacks.
Right.
And the ideal goal, best case would be, or a good case would be if this can sell into that resistance area of 192.
You mentioned ORI, and then what was the first name you mentioned?
GL.
GL. I've been noticing insurance companies very, very strong. If you type up PGR, Progressive, it's actually Bank of America's top pick for the year. They think insurance companies are going to thrive. So GL and ORI with really nice earnings flags, that makes a lot of sense. Just started to notice these insurance companies all lining up for whatever reason. All right, cool. Good list. Let me get into a few things I'm looking at. Let's see. Go in alphabetical order here. This Airbnb is still kind of setting up. We see a big reaction to earnings here. And now, since with the market weakness, it's come to retest this level. So now it's nice, giving us a nice little support buy. I'd love for it to stay a nice little inside day and then give us an entry, this 125 area against this pivot low. We like how it filled the gap and then turned this resistance area into new support. So that one's looking good. This ACA, it's a thinner name. But if you look at this macro bull flag, very, very nice chart. Huge move on earnings, 10% move higher. So now we want to see a nice daily flag, similar to, the GL or the ORI, where it's just very tight consolidation. And then eventually a move through that, an entry through that 65 area. Another one, nice earnings name is ATKR. We love when names hold the earnings gap, called the power earnings gap. So like this holding, but it's about at, 4 weeks consolidation, 2 more weeks, 6 weeks consolidation be great for an entry up through this 148 area. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm not interested in this one yet. More consolidation would be great. Another name, still kind of waiting on, BECN, Beacon Roofing Supply. Another thin one, but we're seeing this name. This is a 2-year long base. That's really great. We see a huge advancement. in the previous year, 2020, 2021. Since then, this name has just been in this monster's base. And now got this great earnings report trying to take it out of the base for the next move higher. So we're looking for this type of advancement after this move is completed. But for the entry, we need to see, weeks and weeks of consolidation here, and then eventually move up an entry, through that 67, through those 67 highs. So I want to see the stock do nothing for weeks and weeks, and then eventually look for an entry. Still watching this Cardinal Health. This one looks like it's still going to need some time. But this was like number 3 on those Bank of America top picks. It's kind of how I stumbled into all those upgrades looking at their charts. Through that 80 looks really good. Not ready yet. This IRDM, again, this one's not ready yet. Huge buying on earnings, institutional buying. And now, we're waiting for the support buy to happen. I don't want to rush it. I'm going to wait till it takes out a previous high of day. So right now it's looking like I'll buy 62. That's today's high. If it makes another low, I'm not rushing into this one every time it upticks. Just going to wait on it. Another one, KBR. Nice, very nice macro level. Now just kind of, big move on earnings flag forming right here. We like this tight consolidation, couple weeks there. That'd be great. And I am very interested to see this AI. I wanted, they have earnings Thursday, so it's going to wait around till then, but we've just seen such heavy institutional buying in the beginning of this move. I would not be surprised. I mean, this trade of the week, hoping they have good earnings. We could get it involved in this on Friday, but 23.25. I'm looking at the hourly consolidation. Look at a 2-hour chart. You can see this 23.25 right here. Bam. So it takes out the most previous hourly high on the pivot, gets a volume through that name. If earnings are good, could be a nice little momentum move. If it takes out this flag to the downside, don't want to touch it. Don't really care regardless. So those are the names on the short list. Still sitting in this LW. Move my stop up to this pivot low right here. And then I'm still sitting in this CLX. I bought right here on a feeler, added through the little flag consolidation. And now I've got to stop below this 152 area. My price is around 153 now. So just kind of sitting in those names, waiting, watching. Don't have too high of expectations for anything across the board. Just kind of waiting around for things to line up. What else are you thinking over there?
So I was talking with a non-member the other day, and I talked to you about this a little bit over the weekend, but
yeah.
So there was a non-member talking about how he was saying he needs a ton of money to swing trade. He can't, he can only trade options. Granted, he's only lost money with options, but he can't make money with stocks because you need too much money to make money.
I need to 10x my account by next month, or else I don't consider that making any money.
Yeah, gotcha. He needed like 200. In his thought, he needed like 200 grand to swing trade, and if anything less was not possible. But he can trade options with $100 because that made sense to him. And I feel like I've heard that misconception so many times that I think it'd be funny if we started accounts with, say, $100 each. We can only put in $100 a week, and we invest
automatic deposits.
What's that?
Automatic deposits.
Yeah. So automatic deposit. Most you can do is $100 a week. We'll start with $100. We'll like race to, or the goal will be to whoever gets to 5,000 first.
Okay.
And then on the chart talks, we can talk about these tiny trades and how we're
building the account.
Yeah. So like you might be more active. I might be more concentrated with one name that I like, or you might have a couple different trades on. And then if you get to say the 5,000 first, then you can dictate what I have to do with what's in that account. And if I get to it first, I got to dictate how what you do with that money.
So the winner gets to dictate how the other person spends the money, pretty much.
Yeah. But it's like, it's not like Shake, go buy Rolex, and like Shake, go buy 100 tacos from Taco Bell. Or,
you're thinking something stupid and hilarious.
Or it could be something good. Maybe it's like donating to a charity, or
I'm with it.
And
I like it.
I think if the members were interested, I think you were saying, what do you want to call it?
The Take My Money Challenge.
Yeah,
you want to go through this? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we get all the members to do it too. We all start with fresh accounts, $100. We can add 100 weekly. We talk about our investments. We see the accounts grow over time, which is the trading experts process. We're not looking to do these extremely leverage trades. We're not looking to do the weekly options and things like that, so it'll be very textbook for, our offerings and kind of how we see the market and things. I like it. I like the idea. I'm down.
Yeah.
Any members who wanted to, and then what, at the end, whoever gets the 5,000 first takes the money.
Well, yeah. So if the member if I beat you or you beat me, the winner gets to tell the loser what to do with the money. If a member beats us, we'll give them whatever in our accounts. So if Zord gets to $5,000 first, and you're at 4,000, I'm at 3,000, Zord will get
Zord in trading competitions. I don't think we got to worry about Zord taking our money.
So that and the only other thing I could think of is that, again, we're talking about this now. We'll start next week. If someone was to watch us, say, a month from now, and they wanted to do it, I think the fairest way would be if it's like a month from now, and that would have been 4 weeks of contributions or $400, they could start the account with like that weekly amount. So it's not like they can only, like, if they want to come in a couple weeks later, they can still come in, but it's not like they're going to come in week 49 when you can put $400 in and then just be at the finish line. Like that's that.
Well, I mean, hopefully, so would have gotten to the $5,000 by then.
yeah. Maybe that never. Yeah. So I think it'd be funny to. I think it'd be fun to try. And again, on Chart Talk, we can talk about the trades, and we can see maybe it is.
And we should have we should have a P&L like leaderboard and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can make this pretty cool, fun, interactive. Get everyone on the same page. Find out who's got the real trading chops when everyone's on the same plane.
All right, Ryan. So make sure you chop this up in a little video so we can we have it all in one spot.
All right.
All right. Anything else you want to go over?
That's a cool idea. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I touched on everything I wanted to get into. Market's very choppy right now, so kind of being patient, waiting around for these earnings names. And take my money challenge. I think we got the gist of it.
All
right. So, folks, we'll update you all as we go along. We'll get this started next week, I guess. All right, and that's it. See y'all next week.